Welcome to All Things Stunts, where we break down the art, the craft, and the reality of stunt work. From on-set stories to training, safety, and the truth nobody talks about. This is real stunt knowledge from real stunt professionals. So my name is Bonsai Vitali, and well, let's get into it. We are so honored today to have a legend in the business. His name is Simon Rhee. Simon Rhee, oh my God. First off, being a legend in the stunt world, he's a legend in the martial art world. A lot of mainstream people know Simon from that amazing 80s show, Best of the Best, where of course he plays Dehan. So anyway, I would love to, Simon, just to jump in and start doing this, if that's okay with you.
First of all, I'm not a legend. I'm just Simon Rhee. But go ahead, Bonsai.
Incredibly humble. Yeah, just a side note, I've never met anybody in the industry that was like, ugh, Simon Rhee, that guy's kind of a jerk. The reason I wanted to have you here today, besides the fact our first episode and having you here, is you have a really interesting story which relates really well to a question that I've got. I got a couple of questions on this topic and I kind of combined them together, but ultimately it's success in the industry and starting out. And there's this sort of preconceived notion, kind of more in the newer generation, as I see, that it's, once you get into the business, once you decide to do it, that it's just going to start happening. I believe it relates really clearly to like when they say actors that get their big break and they go, oh, well, you know what, that person's an overnight success. But in reality, it wasn't an overnight success. It was 8 to 12 years of honing your craft, training, getting rejected until that break comes around. And I think it's the same thing for us. So I would love for you to tell us your story of you and your brother when you came in and how that relates.
1975, I came to Los Angeles to visit my aunt. And at the same time, I knew this Taekwondo instructor that lived in Los Angeles. So I gave him a call to pay respect. And he said, Simon, fella, I'm making a movie called Bruce Lee Fight Back from the Grave. And I want you to be in it. So we went to Long Beach Junkyard and we did this fight scene and we didn't get paid. I remember they gave us filet-o-fish from McDonald's. And then the year later, that movie was playing in Hollywood and we saw it. And that's when the bug hit me. I was like, oh, I want to do this. So from 1975 to 1986, it took me 11 years before I could join the union, because when I came to LA, I didn't know anybody. I only knew my master instructor, Jun Chong. So I was just teaching for him, working as a bouncer at the place called Red Onion, and I was just meeting people, but I didn't know enough show people to really get into the show business. And then 1986, my instructor was making another movie with my brother, Sam Jones, Linda Blair, called Silent Assassins. And that's when I was able to join the union. So it took me 11 years before I was able to call myself an actor or stunt person. So it does not happen overnight.
That's amazing. It's for me myself also. It took 4 years of, and I just told you before we started rolling, right? I mean, I hustled you when you were the coordinator on Best of the Best. I still wasn't union. I was as an extra in the background, hoping to get Taft-Hartley, because back then it was just Taft-Hartley's. There was no voucher system or anything, anything like that. So,
right.
And you were so gracious and you talked to me, and I just remember being on a high for a really long time.
Thanks, Bonsai. I mean, I always want to treat people right, the way I want to be treated. So sometimes, when people come to hustle me, sometimes I'm kind of embarrassed, because sometimes, I don't know how to be nice to the people. And I want to be nice to them, but, I don't want to come across as a phony person, So that's kind of like fine line that I had to learn how to become a better coordinator.
Did that take a while for you? That seems like a natural kind of progression for you. You're just sort of in tuned with other people so easily.
I think it comes from, teaching martial arts and dealing with a lot of different people and having lots of patience. And yeah, I think that's what helped me to be, where I am today.
Yeah. That's great. I love that story. I have a sort of a questionnaire thing that I really want to do, this is the first time experiment because you're my first guest, and it's just a set of sort of 4 kind of rapid fire questions that I will just ask you, and
Sure.
and you can answer, and I'm going to do that for every guest I have. So I'm going to pull up my phone here so I make sure I get this right. So this is the Bonsai questionnaire. So Simon, what's the movie you took your gnarliest hit on?
In Rush Hour 3, when I was doubling Jackie Chan, we were both facing each other, and then the line came and wrapped us up 3 times, and then the crane lifted us up this way, 60 feet up in the air, and then on action, I had to pull the quick release, and we were supposed to unravel coming down this way, and we were supposed to split open, but somehow I stayed on the bottom and the guy stayed on the top, and then the line went like that, and line came all the way inside my body, and like parts of my internal organs got shifted a little bit, so they had to take me to an emergency hospital. So that's one time. Second time I was working on a TV show called Dark Sky for John Moyo, and supposed to run out, step on an air ramp, and then the explosion's supposed to go, behind me, and that, tosses me up in the air. As I was running towards the air ramp, special effects person pushed the button too early, so the explosion came right to my face, and then I stepped on the air ramp completely blind, and then I got tossed, and luckily I, went into the creek, so I was okay, but then my eyes were messed up, and I had to go to a hospital again to get that fixed. So I think those 2 were the gnarliest stunts that had to go to a hospital for.
When I ask this question in the future, I don't know how anybody's gonna top that. Oh my gosh, that is crazy. Okay, question number 2: who is or was one of the toughest stunt people you've ever worked with?
When you ask me that question, 2 people comes to my mind. One is Efka,
That's mine.
and because when I was coordinating that movie Game of Death,
Yeah.
Efka had to fight Wesley Snipes, and Wesley Snipes threw a kick and really broke Efka's ribs.
Yeah.
And I remember Keith Woolard was the original stunt coordinator, and when he was leaving, he said, "Simon, I budgeted $11,000 for stunt adjustment, so here, take good use of it." And after F got hit on the first day of the stunt, I was like, "Efka, how about 1,000?" So he was happy, and I'm going, man, I hope I can make rest of the movie with the 10,000 left. So Efka was one of them, and then the second guy that comes to my mind is Cole McKay.
Oh yeah.
He's, he taught me a lot of stuff, and he's just a tough SOB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know if maybe you knew this with Efka, because when he cracked there, of course, he tried to, hide that, and we went off in the corner there, and he wrapped himself, came back, and was like, I'm not gonna say anything. Right
Yeah,
now.
he didn't tell me until after the movie was over.
No, I know. Yeah, that's great. Those are 2 good picks right there. I can't believe you picked my number 1 pick too. That's awesome. So 3, what's your favorite and least favorite type of stunt to perform?
I guess my favorite is martial art stunts because I'm a martial artist, and I'm happy and easy with that. And the least favorite would be something that has to do with the very complicated wire gags. I guess because I got hurt during those unwrap wire gags, so it just kind of gives me a little bit of funny feelings before I do wire gags. So, yeah, those 2.
With good reason. With good reason. Okay, and the final question: when it's all over, what do you want the stunt community to remember you for?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, right?
Bonsai. Yeah. I want stunt community to remember me by that I was a fair person. Like a lot of my martial arts students has become very successful in this industry. Like, Rob Alonso was, he got his SAG card, from me. And then some of my students that just like David Wall's doing great, and some of the ladies that I taught, and just, they all become a very good people. And I just hope stunt community would see me as a good martial art instructor and a safe and fair stunt coordinator.
Well, I think you already accomplished that. One of the things about your students is that so many of those, even those ones you mentioned, they are also really good teachers. And there's that saying, a sign of a good instructor is how many good instructors you create. So you've done
great.
that. Simon, thank you so much
That
for
was
coming
easy.
and doing this.
That was
man.
so
I
simple.
Really appreciate it.
My
And,
pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you for hanging out with me and my guest today, and we will see you next time on All Things Stunts.